Okay, let's dive right in. We all talk about democracy, right? It's a word we cherish, an ideal we're all supposed to be striving for. But have you ever really stopped to ask yourself if the democracy we have today is actually delivering on its biggest promise? A just, prosperous, and happy world for everyone?
You know, when you look around, you can't help but see these deep inequalities, these systemic problems that just never seem to go away. Well, this explainer gets right to the heart of that. We're going to explore a really powerful critique of our current systems, but, and this is the important part, we're also going to uncover a bold, optimistic, and totally practical vision for a future that truly works for all of us. So here's our game plan. We'll start by diagnosing the core problem with political democracy as we know it. Then we'll get into this groundbreaking alternative called economic democracy. We'll look at the actual blueprint, its profound vision for society, and finally, how each and every one of us can play a role in building this incredible new future. All right, let's kick things off by looking at the two big systems that have really shaped our world. Now, on the surface, they look like complete opposites. But when you start to dig a little deeper, you find this surprising and frankly pretty concerning flaw that they both share. Okay, so this is where the analysis gets really sharp. It doesn't matter if you're talking about a liberal democracy where capitalists hold all the economic cards, or a socialist democracy where party officials are in control. The end result, as this slide points out, is exactly the same. Economic and political power is centralized. It's all concentrated in the hands of a tiny group of people, far, far away from the folks it's supposed to be serving. And the argument here is that this isn't just some small flaw. It's the very root of widespread exploitation and suffering. And this quote just hits the nail on the head. It really captures the central catch-22 of our time. We have the right to vote, which is so important, of course, but what good is having a political voice if we have absolutely no say over our economic lives? The point here is that our current system has basically traded our economic freedom for a ballot, and in the process, it's created massive inequality, unemployment, and this deep sense of insecurity for so many. So if that's the main problem, how does it actually play out in the real world? Well, the source material uses this really powerful analogy to pull back the curtain on what it calls the puppet show of modern politics. You know, when you look under the hood of the system, you see some serious design flaws. Money has a megaphone, meaning the rich and powerful can just drown out everyone else. Voting rights are often just based on age, not on a person's real awareness of the issues, which swings the door wide open for politicians to manipulate people with catchy slogans and empty promises. And the tragic result? We get stuck in this cycle of corruption, where honest, moral, and truly competent leaders are pushed to the sidelines because they just can't or won't play this dirty game. And this isn't just theory. Look at this real-world impact. The source points to India, where a staggering 75% of the population relies on agriculture. For a healthy, developed economy, that number should be way lower, maybe around 30 or 40%. This huge imbalance is a direct result of centralized economic planning that's failed to diversify. It creates immense pressure on the land, leading to widespread poverty and a constant drop in people's ability to buy things. It's a clear, data-driven sign that the centralized model is failing the majority of people. So, what's the bottom line here? The powerful conclusion is that we're made to believe we're active participants in our democracy, but in reality, it's much more like a puppet show. A small group of capitalists and politicians are the ones pulling all the strings from behind the curtain, manipulating the economy and the media for their own gain. In a system like that, true economic freedom for everyone else becomes pretty much impossible.
But here is where everything shifts. We're moving from the critique to a genuinely bright, optimistic, and totally achievable vision for the future. It's time to explore a revolutionary idea called economic democracy.
At its core, this idea is beautifully simple but also incredibly profound. What if, instead of economic decisions being made in faraway corporate boardrooms or centralized governments, we put that power directly into the hands of local communities? What if the main goal of our economy wasn't just to maximize profit, but to guarantee that every single person has their basic needs met? That, right there, is the essence of economic democracy. This is a total game changer. Our current system is built on production for profit. Things are made to maximize returns for shareholders, often no matter the human or environmental cost. Economic democracy flips that completely on its head. It champions production for consumption, which means the economy is organized to directly meet the needs of the community. It's a huge shift from a profit-first to a people-first model.
Now, you're probably thinking, okay, this sounds great, but how do we actually build it? Well, this isn't just some pie-in-the-sky dream. The source material lays out a clear, practical blueprint for making economic democracy a reality.
Let's look at its 4 essential requirements, or as I like to call them, the 4 pillars of freedom. These 4 pillars are designed to work together, creating this powerful, self-reinforcing loop. First, you guarantee everyone's basic needs. Then, you make sure they have the buying power to thrive. Third, you put the decision-making power right in local hands. And finally, you protect that local economy from outside meddling. Each pillar strengthens the others, building a stable and just society from the ground up. The first pillar is the bedrock, guaranteeing that everyone's fundamental needs, we're talking food, shelter, healthcare, education, are met. This isn't just a right, it's a collective necessity for any healthy society. The second pillar then builds right on top of this by making sure everyone has ever-increasing purchasing power. And how do we do that? By systematically building up local industries using local raw materials, which in turn creates meaningful, secure jobs for all local people. And these next 2 steps are what make the whole system so self-sustaining and revolutionary. The third pillar puts all economic decision-making, what to produce, how to distribute it, squarely in the hands of the local community. And that fourth pillar acts like a protective shield, preventing all that locally generated wealth and capital from being sucked out by outside corporations or investors. The value created by the community stays and circulates within the community for the benefit of everyone there. This incredible vision goes so much further than just dollars and cents or supply and demand. It's about fundamentally redesigning our society to create a healthier, more balanced, and more harmonious world for every single living being. This is such a powerful and futuristic idea, isn't it? It's asking us to expand our circle of concern beyond just our own species. This is the grand vision of what the source calls neo-humanism. Essentially, it's the idea that we build an economy that serves not only people, but the planet itself, recognizing the intrinsic value of all life and fostering this deep sense of interconnectedness. This whole philosophy is the foundation of the PROUT socioeconomic model. Just imagine the human potential that could be unlocked. By guaranteeing everyone's economic security, we free people from that constant struggle just to survive. This lets them pursue higher goals, to develop their social, mental, and spiritual sides. This is how we create not just a wealthier civilization, but a truly advanced and enlightened one. So, what's the ultimate takeaway from all this? The source argues that the days of centralized political democracy are numbered, simply because it has failed to deliver on its most important promises. We are standing at a historic crossroads, with a very clear and profound choice right in front of us.
This isn't just some abstract theoretical debate for a classroom. This is the fundamental decision that will define the future of humanity and our planet. Do we keep going down this path that concentrates wealth and power in the hands of a few? Or do we have the courage to choose a new path? One that decentralizes power and builds a world of shared prosperity for all.
And that really is the ultimate question we're left with. If this progressive, optimistic, and all-inclusive vision for the future resonates with you, if it inspires you and gives you a real sense of hope, then your journey of exploration doesn't have to end here. A really great way to keep learning is to connect with other people who are exploring these ideas in PROUT study circles. It's a space where you can deepen your understanding of this healthy and powerful socioeconomic philosophy, which is all rooted in that amazing idea of neo-humanism we talked about. By getting associated with PROUT, you can become part of a growing global movement for profound positive change. Let's leave it with that powerful slogan. The journey to a better world always starts with an idea, a vision for what's possible. And hopefully, this explainer has given you a glimpse into a truly inspiring one. Thank you so much for watching.